Hit record. Alright, so we ready. Today we will be talking about the Manipura chakra, and we talked about the Manipura chakra earlier this week, but today we're more focused on the petals. And so each chakra has particular petals and lotuses and things of that nature, and each lotus means something. And when you refine and balance these particular lotuses, this is how your chakra spins. So if you imagine this chakra as like a rim, and you have like your centerpiece and then the spokes that kind of protrude from the center of the rim. So if a spoke is bent, like a tire spoke is bent, then the motion of the wheel is then obstructed and you won't be able to drive. It ruins the integrity of the actual structure of the wheel if you have bent. So a lot of us have, and when it comes to the solar plexus, you might have 7 or 8 bent petals and still trying to move along. So your logic is not really sound when you're trying to be conscious or spiritual and you don't understand these concepts. So we like to talk about chakras and Vedic things of that nature because it's very old. And it's older than any of us, so we need some type of guidance. And the thing about Vedic thought or Vedic mythology or Vedic lore is that it's extremely spiritual. It's not about a particular god in the sky. It's all about the science of you becoming the god, and it's Eastern thought, and we are Eastern beings in the Western hemisphere, so it's best to like incorporate Eastern thought, and so we can kind of get into our right mind and really being aware of our chakras and our light body and things of that nature, and kind of take a step back from this physical world. So the study of the chakras is actually how we can actually be more spiritual, instead of it being like a contest or really a feel-good experience, or some money comes to help you pay your rent this month, you know what I'm saying? Instead of spirituality being like, hit or miss like everything in life, spirituality becomes something constant and enduring, and it actually becomes the force. So when we want to first discuss the main petal, well, not the main petal, let's just talk about the first petal, is actually highlighted, spiritual ignorance. And spiritual ignorance is the cause for all disease, the cause for all sickness, and the cause for all mental health. Spiritual ignorance is ignorance of the spiritual. I have a lot of ideas about myself, but one of the ideas that I really hold value, that I really don't like even talk about, is like the idea of being sick. Like, I don't believe in that concept. Like, when I do get the sniffles, I'm just surprised. Like, I don't get sick. Like, I just don't feel like, and mainly a lot of it is because I feel like I got too many responsibilities to be sick. I can't afford to be sick. You feel me? So like, that's a predominant attitude that I have. And not to say that I will get sick or I will get sick, but it's just, I realize the spiritual power of think it and so be it. And so I can incorporate that into many different other ideas in my life as well that could probably benefit me. But sickness is the main thing that like I really have a grasp on. But when you are ignorant of the fact that you are connected to a spiritual source, that opens your ass up for all types of crazy ass shit. Like, I couldn't never even fathom, like, it's a lot of things that's going on in the world, but if you realize that you're a spiritual being, it's kind of like a defense. It's the ultimate defense to all types of bullshit. All like, you'll just get ideas to just be petty to niggas, to just like kick them out of your life. Like, just now my cousin was over and I knew I wanted to do this video. I just came upstairs and I just streamed Get Out and just closed my eyes and just waited for her to leave because I wanted to do this video. So I mean, it's just like I was going to think of a way to be petty, you know what I'm saying, instead of like telling her to leave or some shit like that and just becoming like the bad guy. But yeah, that's spiritual ignorance, and that's a major thing when we talk about, because we want to get this third Manipura solar plexus chakra down, because that is the gateway to the fourth chakra. And I know a lot of people just want to read about the fourth chakra and just access the abilities without going through the ascending ladders of the chakras. So that's why I really wanted to like discuss this like more than just one day, but really have a long drawn out conversation about the chakras, as opposed to just some one-time shit, or just finding the coolest shit that really vibrate with me. Like, what chakra do I need to get some money? What chakra do I need to find somebody to love me? Like, just really understanding the chakras in full breath, and really understanding it. But moving forward in these petals, the next one we want to talk about is thirst. And thirst is just a Vedic concept that is discussing about longing, craving, or lusty desire. So the mere fact that you just long and crave for shit is taking you out of your spirituality. And these 10 things that I'm going to discuss are the things, real quick, that are creating the mist that is blocking your ass from spirituality, the things that you'll never get right, the things that there is no solution for. So the longing and the craving, because once you get something, you just go on long and want to crave more shit. That's just is a fault. It's not necessarily spiritual. And if you don't necessarily want to be spiritual, then don't concentrate on spirituality. Like, concentrate on, like, you know, credit scores or some shit, like some dumb shit like that, or, you know, try to flip a house or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Focus on finances if you want to get money. If you want to get in contact with your soul and understand your purpose for living on this earth, then you have to separate yourself from the physical world. And that's a lot of shit. It's not just the shit that you comfortable with. It's the shit that you really attached to, the shit that you craving for, the shit that you longing for. You need to separate that shit. Separate from that if you plan on becoming conscious of the soul, conscious of the world around you, not just, you know, a cool group, you know, that's getting attention right now, but really understand the science and the, you know what I'm saying, the chakras of your damn self, you know what I'm saying, understanding your light body, like, not just some cool fad. Moving on, and the petal that we want to talk about next is jealousy. And jealousy is a big thing. And jealousy is based upon you wanting what you don't have, or wanting or looking at somebody as being quote unquote better than you because of a status or a financial situation, or, you know, a fucked up relationship that looked good on the outside but real dirty on the inside, or vice versa. You just never know, you know what I'm saying? Just being jealous of people and not really. And it all ties into thirst and spiritual ignorance too. If you not knowing that you a child of God, like, if you really don't know that shit, if you really don't know that you a child of God, then what the fuck? Like, you don't know shit. Like, you think your mama and your daddy who don't know shit is supposed to, like, you hold a grudge against them for being imperfect? Or not even being perfect, for being perfect enough to bring your ass in the world, right? But trying to combat, we gotta fight this world, you know what I'm saying? And you know what we do? We fight each other because the world is so fucked up and the world is so hard and the world don't make sense. So jealousy is, you understand jealousy as a flaw and not something to hang your hat on, or something to do when ain't nobody around, or looking on a person's page, you know what I'm saying, just to hate or just to look for flaws and shit like that. just really understanding that the body is what houses the soul, and the body is not the soul. See, the soul is what makes us all the fucking same. The body is what separates us, but the body is an illusion. I'm gonna say that one more time. The body houses the soul. The soul is what makes us the same. The body is just an illusion. See, when the body dies, our souls link up and we can't even tell each other apart anymore. That's why when you make love, it feels so good, because that's what it feels like when we are together in soul form. And that's what it means to be together. See, but if we understand life as just body, mind, and try to figure it out, it'll never make sense, because we searching for a solution. It's like being underwater and wanting to breathe and trying to figure it out your whole goddamn life. And you know you need to breathe, but you refuse to rise to the top and get some goddamn air and really study spirituality and really understand your damn self. So you just search for shit. You just buy shit. You just want to buy shit. And that's the only thing that gets you through, is buying different little trinkets along the way to feel better about your journey. And you avoid keeping it real with yourself. Treachery. Moving on from jealousy. Treachery is deceit, treating, trickery, lies. Not to others, to yourself. How you deceive yourself, how you cheat yourself, how you trick yourself, how you lie to yourself by not realizing that you're a child of the Most High. Or even that you are the creator. If the creator is an ocean, your body is just a motherfucking scoop dip of the ocean with, you know what I'm saying? Your body is just the cup that contains the water of the ocean. The same ocean that's plentiful, that's 70% of the whole entire planet, which is you. So, because they say your body is 70% water, they say the planet is 70% water. What do you think they talking about? They talking about the vastness of your subconscious mind, which is, I think, more, they say 90%, but I would say more like 99% of your life is subconscious, and only 1% of your experience is conscious. So you got to take your whole life, the ups and downs, whether you got a college degree, whether you signed that record deal, whether you got a chance to fly to Brazil, and you know what I'm saying, whether you got a chance to do a porno, like all of these things, just 1% of your whole entire existence, and maybe less than that, because that's still too much credit. This life is, it means absolutely nothing, but we try to make it something the wrong way. And that brings us to shame. And shame is the feeling of humiliation or distress. It's not an actual reality, because that which is within you, which is your soul, which is the real you, the thing that looks at your body in the mirror and then conceptualizes what's happening, what's going on, your consciousness, that doesn't feel anything. It doesn't experience anything. But since we lack knowledge, we just lump our mind and body in one thing, and that's the whole show. So if you got your finger cut off, you really think that that's your finger that's cut off, instead of your body is losing a finger. And you don't lose shit, because when this whatever happens to this body, me, my voice, my consciousness will live on. My children are going to be able to hear me, whether I live or die. They'll understand what I stood for, how I felt about them, because of my vibration, because of my voice. My voice and my vibration is not my body. My body is just my vehicle for that which I call myself. And if you don't understand that, then you will actually feel shame, because this whole world is filled with shame based upon, that's what they're talking about in Adam and Eve when this is a spiritual concept. This is not an actual concept. So when niggas actually want to like walk in the woods naked because they read the shit in the Bible, they're insane. This is not historic. This is mythology. And we're trying to explain what happened to us. When you walk out the garden, once you realize that you was naked, you threw on clothes, but before that, you didn't feel that way and you was naked. Meaning that you, as a baby, as a soul, that's what makes a baby, is because that child is connected to the soul. It has no shame. It has no shame. My 2-year-old, I put him on clothes. He doesn't put that shit on himself. Leave it up to him. He would be walking around here like, you know, like a porn star. Like he just go, like he doesn't have a concept of shame. I'm teaching him that by clothing him and telling him, cover your body, son. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm teaching him to shame himself. He didn't come into the planet with that. Your soul don't know that it's naked. It just want to know where the goddamn party at, where the drinks at, where's the girls at. You know what I'm saying? It just wants to enjoy its existence. And that's what we fight with. And we are trying to realign our chakras so we can actually have a good time and actually enjoy life. Because we've actually been lied to about our whole existence and our whole reality. And I hope that, you know, you understand what I'm talking about. Fear. Moving forward. If you do not understand this concept, then you wouldn't understand why there is nothing to fear. Like, there is nothing to fear. The only thing we must fear is fear itself. The whole concept of fear. Because this is the thing. Nobody can hurt you. Nobody can harm you because you are a soul. Nobody can kill you. Nobody can do anything to you because the body protects the mind. The mind protects the soul. So whatever you think that you thinking, that's fine. But it still doesn't penetrate the deep level of consciousness that rests within you and your whole vibration, which is the soul. So if you actually, you can rewind back to spiritual ignorance, right? If you do not know that you're a child of God, then you have everything to fucking fear. I fear for you. Like, I fear for you. I'm scared for you if you do not know that you have an immortal soul. If you do not sit and ponder that thought and realize that shit, I'm afraid for you. Like, that's all I got. You know what I mean? That's all I got. And money comes, money goes. Comforts come, comforts go. Happiness comes, happiness goes. All of these things. But the thing that, you know, wakes me up and keeps me going through is because I know that God lives within me. And I have to uncover and discover that. Disgust. So disgust, which in all of these concepts that I'm discussing, block you from reaching the fourth chakra, mind you. So we have a lot of conscious people who thinking it is their job to right the wrongs of life. And because they're so disgusted with men, they're so disgusted with women, they're so disgusted with, politicians, they're so disgusted with, I don't know, just life, and just everything is just so appalling. And they disapprove of schools and vaccines, and it's so much shit to dislike, right? And I'm telling you, it's by design, but you wouldn't feel me because it's just so easy to just flip into some shit that you just don't like. That's some easy shit to do. And I can tell you, this is blocking you from getting to your highest level. But it's just so easy to be mad at some shit, because they gonna put some shit on the news or on the telly to just have you like, gasping for air and shit. But I'm telling you, these are the things that fuck up the spokes, that have you not moving, treading along at your most optimal speed. So you have to reconcile that within yourself. Moving along. Delusion. Delusion is just believing shit without no proof. Being scared of shit that just ain't gonna never happen. And a lot of people deal with that. We all deal with that to some extent, because it's just how we were raised and how we are taught to just, to protect this life and to value this life. And so in order for us to do that, we have to believe in delusions of shit. Because if people was going to tell you that this is how they can oppress people because you're afraid to fight back. But it wasn't always like that. You got to understand that there wasn't always police and all of this protection. Just imagine just the wilderness type living where you need protection. It's not even something that you could even act like you don't need it or want it. So you need it. So you wouldn't just get with a weak ass person. It just wouldn't even register in your mind, because your survival, you knew a bear or a tiger might come take a look at you. So you need somebody to protect you. And we not living in those times, but people will still have them ideas. And that's delusion. Because we have to realize that man, woman, or transgender, however you identify, I don't really give a shit, because in this life I'm a man. But it's irrelevant because it's just a fucking body. It's just a fucking vehicle that we had no say so in, when it was, whether we did have say so or not have say so. It is what it is at this point. But it's not important. Women's rights, men's rights, how men feel, how women feel, is all completely irrelevant. And we'll get into that. But I'm not just saying this shit to sound cool. I'm really about my study and about progressing my study, and not just regurgitating shit that, you gotta be real sick in the fucking head to just be always looking for people to agree with every day. Because how are you growing? It's like, you agreed when you did your in kindergarten, you know what I'm saying, you counted to 100. If you went to first grade and they didn't drop new information on you, that would be some retarded ass shit. If you went to first grade and now you had to count to 100 again, do your ABCs again, and that's what's happening in the community. It ain't about nothing, but it's about really being conscious, really becoming gods, and really being the people that are going to help others become gods. And it ain't about having the most followers, the most views, the most participants, the most comments, the most involvement. It's about who's really getting the science and who's really pushing the discussion forward. Delusion, foolishness. Anytime you don't have no good sense, judgment, or just downright stupidity. And that just really runs the gamut of all different types of vibrations to which a person can be foolish. And only you know how you can be foolish. I know how I could be stupid and do stupid shit. And if I want to reach the heart chakra, I got to correct that shit. And that's just some personal shit. You feel me? The last petal is sadness. Sadness is the big one. That's like sadness and shame. They sit at the top and the bottom. Sadness because you know what? Just like disgust, sadness is just some real easy shit to just key off into. It's like a person going to tell you some shit and expect you to be sad. But me, I just be laughing on the inside. Not because I'm insensitive, not because I'm mean, just because I know the energy game that these motherfuckers is playing out here. You think that it's going to be some FEMA camps and niggas coming through with guns and kicking you out of your motherfucking home? No. If they can control your emotions, they can control your whole existence. See, if I can get you into a group and get you all to identify with certain types of concepts, then I know how to push your buttons. See, but if if you got a group of people that's about this science, then you don't. That's why once you get into this shit, you never hear about a person being nothing ever again. It's like nobody, you can Google chakras or go on YouTube and look for chakras. You'd be hard pressed to find, your polites or your house of consciousness, or you know what I'm saying? All the people that you respect talking about chakras. Why? Because that means there's no more check. There's no more attention. Niggas is gonna be gods and on their own missions. Cause niggas is gonna be taking the lead from their own soul and not your motherfucking bully pulpit. That's my goal, is to get people to take instructions from their inner God. Don't take instructions from me. I'm just putting the information out there, and really, if you want some books, you know what I'm saying, to read, I can help you with that, you know what I'm saying? Or, because the work that I'm doing is not going to help you. This information is going to help you, but my meditation, I don't necessarily know if that's going to help you or not. I'm trying to get to know myself, and this is a everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? And what I just really explained to you was the 10 petals that go around the Manipura chakra. And now I want to discuss Maya, because in between the 3rd and 4th chakra is really piercing through the veil of Maya and to understand Maya. And now this concept, I don't expect people to get it right off the rip. I just want to give you some food for thought, and I'm gonna just take some quotes from Swami Vivekananda, and you could look him up and read his material. It is very, very like in depth, man. He's just like constantly dropping like so much information, like, but you just got to generally be ready for it. But his name is Swami Vivekananda, and I'm going to just discuss some quotes and some mythology on the concept of Maya, illusion in the world. So first, what is Maya? Maya is the goddess of illusion. And Maya has different definitions depending if you're talking about Vedic, chakra, astrology, yoga, Buddhist, Taoism. You will find Maya, but you may find different definitions. And the reason because of that is because Maya is undefinable. So we live in three stages of consciousness, and the world is actually, since we are the microcosm of the macro, which is the world or the earth or the universe or however you want to look at it, is always going to be threefold. Like they say, we live in 3D. So for us, we have the soul, then we have the mind, then we have the body. So the soul conceives of the mind conceives of the body, like that. The earth, the soul would be Maya. And then you have, formation or nature. And from there you have what you would see. So experience. Like the trees and shit existed before you got there. You just got there. Now you get to witness something that was already created. But before even the trees got there, there was Maya. And so we begin with the first mythology of Narad and Maya. And Narad had asked Krishna one day, "What is Maya?" And 3 days later, Krishna came to Narad and asked and said, "Come take a walk with me into the desert." So Narad and Krishna travel along the desert, and then one day Krishna said, "Narad, I'm thirsty. Go get me some water." So Narad goes to the closest village, and knocks on the village door. He wants some water, but he see this girl, and she's so beautiful. She just like captivates him, like so fine, and just like he just forget everything. And the girl's dad invites him in. He eat dinner. He's so captivated by her. By the end of dinner, he look at the man. And say, "Look, I want to marry her. Like, I want to marry your daughter." And the dude, he like, "Sure, you know what I'm saying? You can live here." So Narad, he stayed on that plantation for 12 years, married the daughter, had 2 kids, and one day it was a big flood. Storm came, washed the whole village up. The flood water just kept rising. So Narad, he ended up having 2 children with this woman. He put one child on his shoulders. Then he carried the other child. Then he grabbed his wife, and they just wading in the water. But the waves, they just keep rising up. And one kid that was on his shoulder fall off. And he like, "No, come back, son." The other kid fall off. He like, "No, come back, son." Ain't nothing he can do. But he holding on to his wife for dear life. Like, "Please, not you, baby." We like, you know what I'm saying? But the water just keep rising, and his wife just fly off into the ocean, like just drown. And it's just him. And he just swimming. Finally, the storm subsided. He's just on the shore, head in hand. Lost his whole family, farm gone. He heard his voice. Like, "Nigga, where the fuck is my water at?" It's Krishna. He turned. He like, "Damn, Krishna, I completely forgot." He look at his like old time watch, because it's the ancient time. They had like old time watches. He like, so what felt like 12 years was actually only 30 minutes. And Krishna said, "Now that's Maya." Because you got to remember that was his original question. He wants to know what Maya was. And Krishna showed him that, in life, it might feel like 80 years. But in soul time, it's like 10 seconds. Like you don't even know. Like it's just an experience. It's just a hallucination. And it feels like I'm in love. And it feels like I got kids. And it feels like it really do feel like that. But it's a feeling. But that feeling is just Maya. And see, this is not a new concept or a concept that I'm making up. This is a concept that has been around for ages. And every single age and all the people, they always had a problem with this concept. They struggle with this concept. Because when we discuss mythology, say for instance, we start talking the Bible. Then people look for the historical, actual niggas and trying to figure out, okay, if Jesus walked on water, then what was his dimensions? What was his, okay, how much did he weigh? He must have been a real skinny nigga if he walked on water, because like completely, okay, Jesus turned, he fed the whole wedding with fish and bread. Must have been some tilapia, because you know that shit is GMO. Like, come on, man. Y'all really missing the point. We talking about concepts that's going to free your mind so your ass can follow. We not talking about actual things. And this is mythology. And so when you have these questions, the questions is in mythology, because mythology is the actual Maya to religion. So my Christian brothers, my Muslim brothers, my Jewish Hebrew Israelite brothers, if you don't study mythology, that's the same thing as you reading a 400-page book but starting at page 350 and reading from 350 to 400 and feeling like you got a whole grasp on the full narrative of the book, my dude. Real talk. And not to say that you can't be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelites, but I'm saying you need to study the mythology or the source or the origin to those religions before you just, you know, wear that jersey or plant that flag in the ground and you don't really know the origin of it. And so you can't understand the origin if you're looking for historical proof, because before historical proof there was mythology. And so we need to really and don't listen to it like it's coming from me. Just try to find the truth in it for yourself, and to really, because if it's some shit that you can do that's going to satisfy you, that don't require you to tap into your soul, then by all means, do that. But I guarantee you, once you get what you looking for, you still going to be wanting more. And more, and more, and more, and more, and more, and more. Until you start to really sit back and start to do this work and concentrate on this work, which is yourself, and understanding what you are as a soul. You ain't gonna understand, because it's all Maya. As I go into these quotes, I'm gonna explain to you how it's all Maya. And this is why, before I go into these quotes, this is why once you fully grasp this shit, you gonna be looking at people like, oh my God, what the fuck? All struggles for the preservation of this elusive individuality are really vices. All struggles to lose the individuality are virtues. Anything that I do to pump up Kyrie, Hood Mystic, El Melchizedek, whatever you want to call me today, is a vice. It's a habit. It's an addiction. It's a problem. Anything that I do that gets me closer to the soul is my most virtuous shit. So the homeless man on the corner is more virtuous than Beyonce. Because everything Beyonce do is about Beyonce. But everything that homeless man doing is trying to go against the motherfucking status quo. His whole life is against the motherfucking status quo. And he too strong for you to even comprehend. So you just talk shit about him. You couldn't even handle it. You don't even want to handle it. You want it as easy as possible. You can't even handle the cold. Cold to break your ass down. You turn the heat up when it get cold. You can't even fathom trying to break through to other levels. Because you just want it easy. But in this world of Maya, one need not injure, but just spread the hood without striking, and that's enough. What am I talking about? I'm talking about once you come through with this Kundalini shit, motherfuckers is gonna be rolling the red carpets and putting the flowers down and opening doors for you without you even having to ask. And if they even trip, you just motherfucking open up them hoods, like show the motherfucking fangs. It's a wrap. But you don't even know nothing about that because you only know about being scared of some motherfucking white man. That's all you know. Right? Am I lying? You just want to be his motherfucking oppressed by him. You want to be whooped by him. You want to talk about how he motherfucking carried you from Africa to here just to put you in slaves. But you a motherfucking naga. You a fucking nigga. You a fucking serpent person, Kundalini rising, but you don't even give a shit about that shit. You only care about the money that you making. You only care about the success that you having. You only care about the following that you got. Like, really? Really? You not going to deal with this? You going to avoid this? Cause it's something better on the other side? But all of this shit ain't real, but the energy within you is so motherfucking fierce and powerful, but you don't want to deal with it? Cause it's too, it might take some effort. People generally get frightened when these things are told to them, but be bold, we must be. Hiding facts is not the way to find a remedy. I'm just saying, if it's the spiritual town that you niggas know about, please tell me so me and my family can go to the Black Conscious Safe Haven where y'all niggas is meditating and, you know what I'm saying, giving massages and shit. Please let me know where this place is at, where all the kids is being homeschooled and taught about, you know what I'm saying, whatever the fuck. As you all know, a hare hunted by dogs puts his head down in the ground and thinks of itself safe. So when we run into optimism, we do just like the hare, but it's still no remedy. So you just feeling good about this motherfucking Maya is gonna be your remedy? You doing affirmations, you doing positive thinking is your remedy to this motherfucking hell you living in? There is no solution. This is all a fucking illusion. Show me the documents that speak outside of time and space and cause and effect. And then I'll say, this shit is real. This shit does have value. You is right. I do need to get my law degree. You right. You right. You right. I need to save my money. You right. I need to take care of my kids. I forgot. I'm sorry. This next quote is to all these niggas that think that being in the woods is somehow more spiritual than a nigga living in the city. This is from Viveka Ananda. This is not from me. Vivekananda. Nature is Maya. Maya means name and form into which everything is cast. Maya is not real. Even the trees, my nigga. The tree in the building is the same fake. The innocent little boy and the mean murderer man, same Maya. And the thing of it, you cannot destroy it or change it, because it's not real. The only thing real down here is you. Your consciousness. You are experiencing a simulation. And this ain't just like some weird shit. I mean, are you in the same place you were 5 years ago? Are you in the same place you were 5 months ago? Dude, oh, man. It's the real you, which nothing can destroy, and it's the phenomenal existence that is called the body that anybody can just chop your motherfucking arm off at any given time, and it's gone. But it ain't your arm. It's just if you're tired, like niggas get prosthetic arms every day, B. You don't even know now. The motherfuckers will give you a middle finger now. You wouldn't even know. Cause that's how the soul is always thinking of ways to be itself. Like, it was a point where it was unfathomable to think that I could contact my girl in her car and tell her something last minute. She would just have to be at the grocery store all day, and I forgot to tell her to bring some green beans home. And ain't shit I can do. Ain't nothing. If 1972, I'ma just have to wait and be like, babe, you know what you forgot? Like, but the soul was like, look, we connect at all times. We need to create the modality of cell phones. Like, it's in us. And they come from so many different ways, man, that if you're not really into the origins of your being, and you really, I'm just telling, like, tell me the hot shit that I'm missing out on in this physical life that is real. That is like something that you could just hold on to. Every day niggas is talking shit about money. Like, oh, you got it. Like, I swear one day I'm gonna just get my paycheck and it's just be like, man, we only accept Bitcoins here. Like, I'm gonna try to buy a sack, my weed. I don't accept cash no more, man. That shit don't even matter. Got them Bitcoins or nothing, my nigga. And then what? This world is constantly changing. Shit is constantly disappearing. You know? Because if I was to tell a nigga in I'm not even going to say that. If I was going to tell a nigga in 1643 that you ain't going to be trading with cows no more, you going to be trading with straight paper, that motherfucker was going to look at me like I had 15 heads. Like, I've been trading with cows for the last 200 years. How else am I going? It don't even make sense. Honey, can you believe what this man just told me? And the whole family would be laughing at my ass. I would be right. But people can't think besides they life in front of them. But that shit wasn't real. Buying shit with cows and goats and chickens wasn't real. Just like buying shit with money ain't real. It's going to change. It's going to change. It has to. It has to. Our thinking is only in time space relation. So you could only think about me as quick as a plane can get to me and a car could get to me in this time and space. Like, it's impossible for me to meet you November 9th, 2017, because that day is gone. But the soul don't think like that. The soul is in yesterday, today, and tomorrow at the same damn time. But you can't get to that level of understanding because you're not really trying to tap into the soul. You try to tap into your bank account. You see how that works? You see why you don't never have a spiritual experience, and I just sound so crazy and so weird? But they're not hearing you though. I know. The mind and body are not the real self. They belong to nature, and nature is Maya. The mind and the body is not the real self. The mind and the body is not the real self. So the shit that you think you want is not even fucking real. And once you get it, man, I swear zoot suits was like the shit in the 20s. Whatever, man. See, it's only because we on Earth that we think that this shit is important. But it's not really important. It's kind of like Little Mermaid. She thought Ursula was a mean bitch. And, you know, she thought the fish was her friend, Flounder. Until she seen a nigga one day. She ain't give a fuck about Flounder no more. Like, remember that scene where she got real depressed and was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, fuck all this ocean shit. What she did for the day. You feel me? She said, fuck all of this, fuck this ocean entirety. Everything I know, I will throw it out the window for the D. I don't... And the soul is the spiritual. Like, that's the gold, man. That's what you need to... And see, you should be able to sell everything and anything for spiritual enlightenment. You don't need a reading. You don't need to learn shit. You need to get in tune with yourself, man. And really understand that this world is fake. And it's so fake that you can start to create and mold it to your own ways and wishes. And because it's fake like that. Man, I've been talking a lot, man. I got a couple more quotes. Why can't we know the secret of the universe? This is what Vivekananda says. And the answer is given very significant. Because we talk in vain, because we are satisfied with the things of the senses, is because we are running after desires. So what the fuck do you even, why is y'all even conscious and woke right now? Why the fuck do y'all even give a fuck about spirituality? They don't. And you only care about your desires. What was it, the five senses? The five senses, your senses. You satisfied with the things of the senses and you running after desires, but then wonder why, or like, what the fuck? Why am I so depressed? What am I missing? What am I not getting? Let me go follow this nigga. Let me go follow this bitch. Or, I'm sorry. Let me go follow this woman. This goddess. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you a descendant of the great gold brick shitters and all y'all do is shit gold bricks all day. It really is just an illusionary phenomenon anyway. Beauty, money, success, glamour, all of this shit. It's like we want to talk some magic shit. and then you want to do a money spill. All right, let's talk some magic shit. And you want to do a love spell. Why don't my boyfriend want to be with me? I can't answer them questions, man, because I don't even give it, like, I can't answer them questions, man. Because once you align with yourself, you really have your goddamn pick of who, like, motherfuckers just want you. And it ain't even nothing to be vain about or to be like, to pat yourself on the back. That's just the way it is. You got something to offer. And you want to offer that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between wanting to, like, you wanting somebody to fulfill your needs. I might fulfill your needs, I might not. That make me a bad guy? That's a lot of pressure. When I deal with people, I deal with them because I want to love on them. That's it. You don't gotta love on me back. I don't even like that shit. It's weird. I'm weird. So, this Maya is what makes the difference between me and you. Like I said, the only difference between me and you is this physical body and your mind. Your mind and your body makes me feel like me and you are different. But the soul is what makes us the same. The mind and the body are Maya. And the soul may or may not be Maya. But the soul is caught up. Just like that story of Narada, when the higher self, Krishna, tells us to go get some water, meaning that we come down here with a purpose and we find some big ass titties and forget all about our purpose. We so slick with it. The ego is so slick with it. They'll call it a goddamn twin flame or a soulmate. This pussy is my purpose in life, is to get this ass. To get this check. Oh, I'm super spiritual. I just got me $1 million check, y'all. We need to stop putting physical markers on our spiritual success and start really dealing with the realizations of spirituality as the marker of our success. How spiritual your ass really feel within yourself. Because if you fearful and you like, that's how it's a dead giveaway. All the deep spiritual niggas, when some shit pop off, they all get sad. Or even Chantel McBride said the world was going dark November 4th or 6th and everybody was going to die. You watch all the quote unquote spiritual motherfuckers start be like, well, you better get some water. Like, how you go from giving readings and being all super spiritual to now I need to get some water? I don't read. Man, I've been talking a lot today. If we can't get rid of this Maya or ignorance, then we become what we really are. And according to this philosophy, each man consists of 3 parts: the body, the mind, the Atman, which is the soul or the self. The body is the external coding. The mind is the internal coding of the Atman or the soul, who is the real perceiver, the real enjoyer. So, the soul is looking at all of this fuck shit, laughing his ass off because you so ignorant. He don't give a shit. All we got is time. That's the funny part about all of this shit. When a nigga be late for work and you be rushing. Like, why? This whole, like, that's all we have is time. That's all we got. What are you rushing for? What's the real rush? And if you die, you come back and do it again if you want. All you got is time. This thing is going. Don't let them fool you. It's all an illusion, man. We're born in this Maya. We live in it. We think in it. We dream in it. We are philosophers in it. We are spiritual men in it. We are devils in this Maya. We are gods in this Maya. If you could just stretch your ideas past your desires, your needs, and your wants, then you won't have a problem. But if you focus on your desires, needs, and your wants, that's what the fuck they gonna be. So with every breath, every pulsation, every beat of your heart, every movement, you think you free. But with every breath, every movement, every beat of your heart, you realize that you are not. You are bound slaves. Nature's bound slaves in body and mind, and all of your thoughts and all of your feelings. And this is all Maya. So, understanding that you need to correct some of those ideas surrounding the concepts of sadness, spiritual ignorance, thirst, jealousy, treachery, shame, fear, disgust, delusion, foolishness, and sadness will get you to the heart chakra. But if your ass is sad, afraid, always mad at shit, no heart chakra for you. And maybe you cool with that and you just want to live based on your desires and whether you make the fucking cheerleading team or not. That's up to you. But I was talking way too long. I only want to do like, I'm saying 30 minutes, but you know how it be. So any questions or comments, I'm here. If not, then y'all know where to find me. No question.